Hello, brothers. Welcome to another Lightning Salt Newsfeed podcast. My name is Nathan, aka the Mazer, and I'm joined today by Dan, aka Little Willie,
Blip bloop.
Skibidi Boop, and James, aka the Man Magos. And today we're talking about a great deal of many things in the news and various other places. But before we get into that, if you are not subscribed to us, it helps us immensely get noticed by said algorithm of YouTube. So do subscribe to us on YouTube and press the bell to get notified when we go live, usually at Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and Sundays at 7 p.m. You can join our Discord community, which is growing at a reasonable rate. The link is in the description below and on the overlay. You can have your armies painted by James at fiverr.com/Magos Paint. So you can find him on Instagram under the same name, and you can check out our media at lightningsaltmedia.com. That's the first time I've remembered to do that in a while.
Well done.
Other than that,
Well done.
how are you guys doing?
Go ahead, James.
Recovering from the COVID, but yes, feeling a bit better.
Yeah.
Dying at the start of the week. Decided that I finally pulled myself around to get some painting done, and the fucking pressure gauge went on my compressor.
Oh shit.
So ordered one, got a new one. Finally dragged myself out of the house and went and got some BFE tape and a spanner, and it's fixed. So I did a little bit last night, and hopefully they will be done for Veterans Day.
Oh, the GSC.
The GSC.
Nice.
It won't be like finished as in like I'm happy with them, but they will be painted to a standard that is suitable for the channel,
Yeah,
properly painted.
Good to hear.
They will have.
The question
tournament
is, the
ready.
question remains: who wants to play against GSC?
Ooh.
I would love to. So I'm working tirelessly on my Eldar.
Yep.
Not Harlequins, dude. Why would I be painting so much Eldar if I'm planning to play Harlequins?
This is true.
Yeah. So I'm working through my Harlequins as we speak. I am camoing up my Rangers. So I'm just waiting for one more unit of Warp Spiders
Oh yeah.
to get delivered. They should get posted on Monday.
Oh.
Hopefully, I'd like to get them on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And hopefully, if they come on Tuesday, I'll get them built, primed, and in some kind of state to be played on the channel on Wednesday. If not, I can still play Eldar. I'll just change my list around a bit.
Okay.
So I'll happily play, or just might not be the list I want to.
Yeah, that's fine. So it'll be Eldar versus GSC next week, potentially. If not, I can sub in some random crap. Anyway.
Get more practice in with your custodians.
I think playing Custodes against a brand new GSC player might be deeply unpleasant, but maybe, who knows. Other than that, what else are you doing, Dan?
Not much. Like I said, I'm just trying to get these Eldar done. So I have a lot to paint and not enough time.
No.
Feels like it. So.
I have plenty of time to paint. I just choose not to. I choose to leave it to the last minute and hate myself, and I stare at my armies every day and go, I should paint this, and then don't.
Yeah, not bad. Like I said, I've set my goals for the tournament. It's my first ever proper tournament. I'd like to go 3-2. That's my goal. So if I can get a positive win ratio, that'd be pretty cool. But what I really actually want is to win best in show. Don't know why. That's what I'm after, genuinely. So trying to get my army to look fancy.
So Andy actually sent me a picture before we played our game this afternoon of the field Hellstorm GT. And if the GT at the end of April that we're going to is similar to this, I'll be quite happy. Honestly, I've never seen such a spread of factions. There's like one Tau player, 2 Tau players, including Andy. There's only a couple of Eldari.
I don't think there's going to be as much meta play as you think.
Yeah. There's like loads of stuff. There's a Siriani, there's Genestealer Cult, there's Thousand Suns, a couple of Orcs, a couple of Deathwing, a couple of Tyranids, Chaos Demons, Necrons, a couple of Astra Militarum, couple of Space Marines, some Grey Knights. There's shitloads. I was quite surprised at how like normal it looked. So it gives me some vague hope that when we play it at the end of this month, it won't be a complete Harlequin shitfest.
I really doubt it will.
Yeah, which gives me mild hope. Speaking of mild hope, my game with Andy this afternoon gave me some mild hope that I might be okay.
Really?
Yeah.
I still go ahead.
So I won, but only by 3 points. It was very close, and it was down to. It was pretty much down to me pulling off a charge, but a relatively easy charge, like 6 inches. We obviously played it really hardcore. So full tournament rules, player place terrain. We didn't do any wacky take backsies or anything like that. Whatever we did, we sort of had to just deal with it. I took psychic interrogation as usual, and I got denied first turn by his relic, and then the second turn I completely forgot to do it.
Oh.
And then I had forgotten to move my Inquisitor that second turn. So she was out of position, like completely out of position. So he came round with a Cold Star Commander and just one-shotted her. She nearly survived. She nearly survived. It was down to a single dice roll. But that mispositioning and then just forgetting to do it, turn 2, cost me a fuck ton of points, basically.
That's pretty much a whole second, really.
Yeah, I only did it. Yeah, I think I only did it once, successfully. In fact, no, I don't think I even did it once successfully. I can't remember. But yeah, it brutalized me by basically 15 points. But fortunately, one of his secondaries was the relays one. And because he had to get 4 relays to max that out, it meant it was more difficult for him to hold the 6 objectives. So I managed to outscore him on the primary. I maxed out the primary and he only got 28, I think. And that was pretty much the only reason I managed to eke out 3 points. But he was saying to me that some tournaments, they count anything less than 5-point difference as a draw.
Really?
Yeah. Not all tournaments, but some tournaments. He said that if there's less than 5 points difference between the scores, then it's counted as a draw. And I was like, that's fucking whack. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know about that. That seems a bit sussy.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
That's like the definition of not a draw.
Yeah, it was weird. But it was really, really good to play, with someone who knew his army like the back of his hand, and like just playing just hardcore. And it didn't take long to play the game either. We played a full 5 turns. Obviously his turns were a lot longer than mine. But I think we still managed to do it in about 3 hours. And that was with setting up terrain and stuff. So yeah, it felt really good. It felt really nice to play in that rigid style and sort of be okay with it. And it's nice to have a close game as well.
I still don't think Harlequins are as threatening as people make out to be, especially with they have very glaring issues. Well, not issues, but very glaring sort of drawbacks and weaknesses. And I think if the meta adjusts to it, I don't think they're going to be as dominating as people make out to be.
Really? Please tell me these drawbacks and weaknesses.
Mortal wounds.
Not every army has access to them,
specifically psychic phase. Like, just being able to pick off the transports with mortal wounds absolutely ruins the army.
But not every army has access to mortal wounds.
No, but it makes certain armies all of a sudden be much contenders in the game, in the field.
Yeah.
And I think that's very good.
Oh, welcome, Arik Proto-God. That must make you a Custodes fan. I don't recognize the name, so if you're a new listener, then welcome to the channel. Yeah, so I had a blast playing the game. It was a really good game, and it sort of, I feel a lot more confident going into the tournament now, knowing because there's a lot of rules for player place terrain as well. like large ruins can't be placed within 6 inches of each other. And you obviously roll off to see places first. Smaller terrain can't be placed within 4 inches of another piece of terrain and 4 inches of a table edge to allow baby knights to move along table edges. There's quite a lot of wacky stuff when it comes to sort of tournament play. So there's a bit of a learning curve for us all when we go there. But I just wanted to get some proper practice games in so that I didn't look like a dick when I go and play with people who actually know what they're doing.
And I don't know how you feel about it, but maybe we kind of look at that when we play it next week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
The other thing I was going to ask is there a time limit on a turn?
So most tournaments you have an hour and a half each total, and you use chess clocks. So as soon as your turn starts, you start the clock, you do your stuff, and then whenever your opponent has to like roll saves, or if your opponent decides to use a stratagem in response, or when your opponent fights back in your turn, you stop your clock and they start theirs.
Right.
And then when it comes to their turn, obviously they start their clock, and when you're doing stuff during their turn, your clock is running. And if you run out of time, you are no longer allowed to do anything. But if your opponent has time left, then they can carry on playing until they've run out of time or until the game is over. But you basically can't. You just stop doing anything. You can't try and score points or whatever.
What happens when it comes to like rolling for saves?
You're supposed to stop the clock, and the opponent who's rolling the saves is supposed to start theirs.
Yeah, but what I mean is, sorry, what happens if you run out of time? Does that mean you just don't get to roll for saves? You just get blasted?
I think so. I'll have to check.
Lol.
Oh, Arak Proto-God. At the end of the game, it was 70 points to me, the Custodians, and 67 to Tau. It was very, very close. It was down to the wire. But Andy said that they tend not to run clocks unless you're playing a horde army like GSC, Guard, Tyranids, if you're playing non-Crusher Stampede or whatever. If they see that you're running a horde army, they'll make you use a clock. But if you're not running a horde army, they tend not to bother, apparently. And they just assume that you're going to stick to the 3 hours.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Lots of interesting stuff. Proto-God, it was looking pretty sketchy for me. To be fair, he did table me almost. I had nothing but a squad of Shield Guard, a lot of Shield Guard. That massive 10-man blob just survived the entire game. And then all that I had left was a Vexilla and Trajan, and that was it.
Yeah, he unfortunately for Andy, he neglected his primary, so he lost purely on primary.
Pretty much.
Lost so many points of primary. Yeah.
Scoreboard was a little hard to read. I apologize.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I think we'll take that back to the draw. I think we should need a bit of separation between the columns.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I can work on that.
We can
pick a line.
Okay.
I think a space between each.
The secondaries and stuff.
All the secondaries, or maybe group, so each player has their side of the thing.
All
I think we'll have to think about it.
Yeah, no worries. I'll adjust it. Is it big enough or small? Is it too small?
It's a balance, because I noticed personally last week, when I wasn't there and I was watching on my phone, and if you're somebody who's watching on a phone, I suppose a tablet will be somewhere in between, but on a phone, it's really hard to see anything.
Yeah.
And you've just got to accept that fact. I stuck it on the telly for the last hour and a half, and it was absolutely magnificent.
Yeah.
Now, you've got to really think: does our viewers, and maybe this was a perfect thing for the YouTube poll option. If we put a poll out there saying, how do you generally watch our battle reports? Do you watch it on a TV at home? Do you watch it on your phone? Or do you watch it on a slightly larger tablet? And I think if we can get an idea of that, that might help.
I can't do a poll on YouTube until we get 1,000 subscribers because YouTube's
Yeah,
dicks.
it's a community.
man.
It's a community feature. No, I don't. I think the size is fine for like screens. I
Yeah.
think it's mainly
It's
it's
just
a bit hard to read.
It's that scoring table. It's fine. We can adjust that.
But thanks for the feedback.
Yeah, we appreciate it. It's very helpful when people tell us what works and what doesn't. Otherwise, nothing changes. Other than that, let's move on to important things. What do we want to talk about first? Chaos or squats?
Squats.
Nuts.
These nerds. It's got to be squats. Come on.
Yeah.
I felt
Squat on my dick, daddy.
I felt completely vindicated because I completely forgot it was April the 1st. Saw the video, I was like, right on my Instagram, oh my god, I hope this is so true. Like, squats are back, baby. And then about 2 or 3 people were like, yeah, dude, it's April Fool's. I think that's an April Fool's.
It was a really weird choice.
Yeah. And I was like, oh shit, I've just been properly got.
It was a double bluff.
Yeah,
it was a double bluff.
Alistair was like, oh my god, squats, is this an April Fool's joke? And I was like, I don't think so, because it was leaked that they were coming out like in that massive set of
value was too high.
Yes.
Yeah,
it was way too expensive for them to just go, ha. Yeah, it was it's pretty cool. But
it's very cool.
People forget squats were
squatted.
They were removed for a reason.
Some might say squatted.
Yeah. Have you ever seen any of their old models?
They are basically now they look like the Age of Sigmar dwarfs. Was it Cata Franz?
Caradon Overlords.
Caradons. That's they look kind of like space Caradons.
Have you ever seen a squat land train model? Google it,
unfortunately,
and tell me what the issue of that might be. Can you imagine moving that shit? The rules interactions.
Hey, don't you worry about it.
Can you imagine blocking off half the fucking board with a vehicle?
Yeah, it's fucking sick, bro. I want the choo-choo train.
Yeah.
Also, it looks like fucking Lego, but that's besides the point. Ugly ass models, god damn.
Yeah, they were horrendous, absolutely horrendous. Their big thing was like, obviously the trikes with the drills, the mole mortars, grav guns, the train. What do we think? What do we think their design direction is?
Well, I don't know. Like I said, I feel like they're gonna be somewhere between Tau and the Imperium, and I love that. So much more sort of cleaner, technologically advanced faction compared to the Imperium. I expect them to still have a bit of melee because lol dwarves, right? So some axes, some hammers. Maybe I'm hoping for some fucking cool mechs,
AI
and
mechs,
some cool tanks. Yeah, so I'd love some kind of weird, wacky like exoskeleton. Or something along those lines. I mean, if the whole thing is still like, dwarves, lol, they mine good, which it looks like it is. If you watched the video, one of the, because they kind of previewed these shadowy characters. One of them did have a pickaxe on its back, right? So I'm like, I would love to see like a big like rock drilling mech, right? Like a dreadnought-esque with big siege drills kind of stuff. That'd be pretty dope. I think they're in a good like artistic spot with it, right? In a good design spot where it could go in a lot of ways, and that's pretty cool.
I think there might end up being a little bit of GSC. I think there'll be something like Dan says with the mining thing. You'll probably get access to like transports, etc. That like the teriyaki siege drill, that kind of thing, but maybe it's on a smaller scale.
The teriyaki siege drill.
The teriyaki chicken siege drill. So I think you're gonna have some deep striking, but deep striking from underground as opposed to teleporting in. You'll probably tend to find that they have like the GSE, like laser cutters and mining equipment that'll be kind of also used for battle. I'd imagine they'd be slow, with the exception of like if the biker units.
That was
I
my
think they're
thoughts. I'm expecting either a 4 or maybe 5-inch move baseline.
5 maybe. I really don't think they'll.
Yeah, I think they're going to be slow. They're going to be tough.
Yeah.
The weird thing I found was one was the metal feet. I don't know where they're getting the admech aesthetic, and the other thing was they're supposed to be really heavily armored, but the armor that they have on, or at least in that shot, is very much. It's just. It looks like carapace armor that'll probably be up to a standard of ceramite, if that makes sense. There's a lot of rubber and a lot of exposed skin.
It's not pure power armor.
It's not, which...
But they do have a power pack on the back.
Yeah, but without the vents.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. They might still... It'll be interesting if they go for like this in between, right? Like a slightly powered down.
Yeah, I think they're going to be naturally. They're going to be naturally high toughness,
like T4. Maybe there's still a 3-up save.
I think they're going to be halfway between
T5.
Tau and Custodes. Honestly, I think they're going to be tough as nails, but slow and highly technologically advanced in terms of guns, but without the invuln, if you know what I mean. So literally like halfway between Tau and Custodes, like maybe a standard 3-up save, but slower, fancy guns. I mean, the power pack at the bottom of the gun looks like the Eradicator's power pack on their melter rifles. And somebody mentioned, maybe it was in the video, I'm not sure, but there's a Tau icon on one of the characters.
Dun, dun, dun.
So I don't know whether they have like Tau originating weapons of sorts, which sort of indicates why they've got their fancy weaponry and shit. But like I said, historically they did love their grav guns. And the guy in the video with the blue gun, I don't know whether that's like a plasma gun or a grav gun.
Yeah, that looks like that weapon looks very sort of. It does pull a bit from Tau, right?
Yeah.
It does look like a bit of a sort of. I got a slight ion blaster vibe.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Plasma-esque weapon of sorts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I say, I wouldn't be surprised if the
how cool would it be? How
like,
cool would it be if they're like? Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're alright, dude. Finish, go on.
I was just gonna say it would be cool if like just their infantry just has plasma weapons baseline.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
that don't blow up in your face.
I think they're gonna be a faction that's gonna have permanently overcharged plasma. Yeah. Maybe not necessarily as baseline. Maybe they'll have grav guns as baseline or whatever. But that's why I'm feeling that they're going to be elite. I don't think they're going to be a high model count army at all.
No, I don't think they will be either. I mean, they're not a big faction. I don't think they were sort of canonically a widespread faction. So,
and to start with, they're not going to have a huge model range either, are they?
Well, I was going to say it's not the fact that they were. It's the fact that they came out of the Age of Strife a lot better than humanity.
Yeah.
But they were subsequently decimated. They're going to have because they're going to be traders, like historically the traders as well. So that's where the Tau thing might come in. The fact that they've traded with the Tau on the Eastern Fringe, they were big in hoarding, as dwarves are. So they hoarded resources, tried to acquire what they could when they could, but weren't very forthgiven. That's why relations with the Imperium were strained, because the Mechanicus and the Imperium wanted access to all this technology, and they were like, no, fuck you, you pay for it. And they would never officially ally, I don't think, with the Imperium. They had trade agreements, etc.
Yeah.
Oh, can you imagine how pissed the AdMech will be when they see that shit?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Angry toaster noises, just screeching. Heresy!
Cole
Give me them guns!
I want them guns, bro.
Give me them technologies.
Honestly, just looking at the model.
These fuckers have STCs, don't they?
Yes, of course they do.
They have intact STCs. Yep.
They're going to have access to things like better rhinos and shit like that.
Honestly,
Well, I think the article said something about the AdMech would definitely consider some of the technology heresy,
which
so
indicates AI, which tells
some
me
AI.
robots. They're
I
gonna have
want
robots.
Space Marines with drones, dude.
Oh yeah,
Give me.
I genuinely think they're gonna be Space Marines with worse armor save, slower movement, but infinitely better weapons.
I don't know about slower arm. It would make sense for them to still have like the 3-up save, but maybe not 2 wounds.
Yeah,
Like T4, 3-up save, 1 wound.
yeah.
I think
Movement
they'll be
5.
higher than T4. I'm calling it now. I think they'll be T5. T5 1 wound.
Nah, no way. That you're telling me these guys are as tough as Death Guard or Custodes? You're whack, dude. No way.
Yeah.
Now, four is reasonable, but 5 is a bit much.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. They could go any direction. We could be completely fucking wrong. God only knows what their rules writers think these days. So there could be
true.
fucking T3 5 wounds each for all we fucking know. Who knows? Yeah, that's pretty much it for squats. Glory to chaos. Well, actually, not glory.
Speaking of squats and chaos,
Yeah.
based on the article, they did mention that they're sort of having troubles with chaos. So maybe that's when they will sort of premiere them in a box set against chaos.
A chaos Scots box set. Wow. That wouldn't. Yeah.
That soon?
That's.
Do you think?
They said by end of this year.
End of this year?
Next
Yeah, that's
few-
December.
Yeah.
Chaos is going to be coming pretty short.
Is it?
They'll do. No, I think what they'll probably do is they'll do the chaos release.
Oh wait, shit! No, we've got Knights first before Chaos, haven't we?
Yes.
Ah,
Both
fuck.
Knights.
Okay, so we've got Tyranids that have just come out. We've got Chaos Knights that are probably coming out in about a month. Are Chaos
Do you
Knights
think
coming
they'll-
out at the same time?
Do you think what is Imperial Knights?
Yeah,
I would probably say so. Yeah.
but they haven't said anything about it. They've just showed off a couple of models, right?
There might be a few months away from with the Knights.
Yeah,
So like maybe
Chaos
around
yeah.
June era.
So maybe Chaos is Q3, Q4, and perhaps Squats will be in a head-to-head box like Chaos were with Eldar. Maybe they'll release a Squats versus Chaos box, even though Squats don't have a codex because they're dicks.
Squats versus Corn.
Oh my god!
Squats versus
Nathan just had a nerdgasm.
I'll buy 3 boxes, please. In seriousness, though, I don't need any more Chaos, I don't think, unless they bring out a bunch of new models that are obligated to be included in every army.
The question is, would you guys go for it, though? Would you go for the Squats?
I'm not sure. I don't have any more room on my shelves because Chaos Demons.
I mean, you know, you can get more shelves, dude.
I mean, the fucking AdMech and the Knights aren't technically mine.
I mean, think about it, Nathan. Does Millie really need an office?
This is true. Do
Does
I
she
really
really
need terrain?
Yeah. Does she, do you really need a living room? Think about it.
Think about all the
bathroom.
floor space, all this carpet space.
Exactly.
Yeah. No.
You're
Well, the
gonna
Chaos
beat your
Codex, Chaos Codex is coming out, but it's not going to include World Eaters, which pisses me off because that's the army I've started, and I don't actually know when World Eaters are coming out. I'm assuming afterwards. So
What, you mean, like as in Q1 next year?
I don't know.
It could be.
That would hurt my soul because I'll be stuck playing arguably one of the worst codexes in the entire game, bar Imperial Guard.
I mean, you could try and play them as something else.
Yeah, I could play them as word bearers. Have you seen?
Yeah, they're red.
Have you seen the new rules, by the way?
There were some leaks, yeah.
Yeah,
The
one second,
weird new chaos. Whatchamacallit, doctrines.
Yeah, one second. Let me find it. Where the fuck is it? Legion traits. Here we go. Load, damn you. Why won't it load? What the fuck? Here we go. Sorry, it's taking me fucking ages. So, word bearers. Charge and... they get to reroll all hit rolls when they charge or heroically intervene. They get a 5-up invuln against mortal wound. 5-up feeling of pain against mortal wounds. Their doctrine is 6s to wound with pistol and assault and melee cause mortal wounds.
That's pretty bananas.
Yep. So I can probably play as word bearers until World Eaters come out. I'm not really impressed by some of the other Legion traits, like Night Lords, -2 leadership and combat attrition, but they do
Fuck
get
Night
+1
Lords,
to
nobody
advance and
cares about them.
charge.
What do the Corsairs do?
Red Corsairs, they get to advance and charge. They count as double for objective secured. And unfortunately, their doctrine is heavy, rapid fire, and grenades get +1 AP. So their doctrine is kind of shit, but they are very fast because they can advance and charge and count as double obsec. Alpha Legion haven't changed much, to be honest. -1 to hit greater than 12, or -1 to hit at greater than 18 if you've got more than 10 wounds. They can fall back and charge, fall back and perform actions, and they get +1 AP on rapid fire, assault, and pistol weapons when in half range. Emperor's Children ignore modifiers to hit. 6s to wound get +1 AP, and they get 2 extra hits on 6s rather than 1 in melee. So yeah. Black Legion are quite interesting. +1 to hit on the charge when shooting the closest unit. The only thing, I mentioned this to Dan, I haven't mentioned it to you, James. Terminators are getting limited loadout options, so you can't spam either combi weapons or special weapons anymore. So unfortunately, the 10 Terminators I equip with double lightning claws are going to go and eat shit.
Really?
Yep.
That's fucking... Surely, though, they're going to give you 2... But you're not going to... So you're not even going to have the option to run like say, for example, just in the Space Marine Codex, you can have a Terminator Assault Squad or a Terminator Squad. You're not even going to get those loadout options.
I have no idea. All I know is that you can't spam combi weapons and you can't spam the special weapons. So you're going to be limited to whatever comes in the box. And at present...
Just what they've been doing, so
yeah,
it makes sense.
Whatever comes in the box is like 1 pair of lightning claws, 1 fancy axe, 1 heavy flamer, 1 assault cannon, shit like that.
Oh, I hope to God that they don't, like, that's fucking shit.
I'm just
Like,
curious what the base loadout's going to be.
I was going to say, is it you can't spam them as in you can't spam the same combi weapon, or you just can't spam more than 1 combi weapon? Because obviously you got combi grav, combi plas, combi...
Yeah, no, it'll be more than likely like they've done with every other kit, which is basically you can only really equip them with what's in the unit or what's on the sprue, and it will be something like for every 5 you can take 1 special combi. So for every 5 you can change a combi bolter to like a combi melter plasma or whatever.
Yeah. Obliterators are changing, which is kind of nice. They go to T5 and 5 wounds. 2 up save, 5 up invuln, which I believe they already have. Their guns are going... They're still 24-inch guns. They're either 9 plus D6 shots at strength 5, AP -1 or 1. Or they get 3 plus D3 shots at 7 -2, flat 2. Or D3 shots at strength 9, AP -3, damage 4.
Plasma?
Yeah, so it's either a fuck ton of shots for chaff, average amount of shots for anti-elite, and then D3 shots for your anti-tank.
Yeah.
It's interesting. So the flesh metal Orange Jesus is no longer a problem, thank God. Interestingly, they are getting a point upgrade on their basic troops that allows them to cast and deny a power.
This is the
They bring in like an aspiring sorcerer.
sorcerer.
Yeah, so you can equip one of your guys with a Balefire Tome, and it allows them to cast one and deny one per turn.
Which is probably why when we were talking the other week, why the power level's slightly higher.
Yeah.
You remember we couldn't get our heads around
They're
why
also
they were
getting a
power.
fancy new chain axe, which is strength 8, AP -4, flat 2, but it's -1 to hit. So it's basically a power fist, but with extra AP.
It's got to be restricted to HQs or something, right?
No, it's just one per. It's a special weapon, so it'd be one per squad of 5 or 10 or whatever. It's like with Plague Marines with the
Very nice.
the flail, where they can only take one flail.
That's not even going on your squad leader.
Yeah, they've got psychic powers, new psychic powers, 6 new psychic powers, or some sort of changes to existing ones. One is +1 to wound. One brings back a Demonkin model. One gives a 4-up invuln to Demonkin units.
Wait. Brings back a Demonkin model.
Yes.
Is Demonkin a new keyword then for all the
it's Master of Possession,
demon
Possessed, Warp Talons. Thank you very much. I have 2 squads of those, and Obliterators.
Nice.
No, bringing back an Obliterator. Fuck off. Nice.
Yeah, so people might be bringing
Or maybe Mutilators.
Master of Possessions and a bunch of Obliterators for some backline fire support that you can't kill. I mean, giving them a 4-up invuln and bringing one back a turn with a psychic power is pretty nutty.
Yep.
What about... I, for one, welcome our Chaos Overlord.
Yeah, they have a psychic power where you instantly destroy a model if you roll higher than its toughness on a d6. 6 is to hit auto wound and either +1 strength or +1 toughness, but if you roll a high enough psychic test, you get both. They have sorry, there's quite a lot of bits. Aspiring Champion is basically a lieutenant now, so he gives a reroll of 1s to wound and an aura of 6 inches. Pretty much most demonic units, those Demonkin units, get a -1 leadership aura because GW's fucking insistent on leadership being valid. Abaddon went up in points quite significantly.
Yeah, but he's already a beast, so why not?
He's 300 points, 8 attacks base, strength 10, AP -4, flat 3 damage.
Fuck.
And he does mortals. Or you can double his attacks at strength 7, AP -4, flat 1. So 16 attacks, 7 -4, 1.
That's pretty fucking spicy, man.
Good. And oh yeah, demonic marks. They're either -1 to wound, ignore the first failed save, fight first, or +1 strength on charge. So these are point upgrades you can give to units.
Oh, are those the chaos marks? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, -1 to wound. What the fuck?
Yeah. And
Well,
Abaddon can only take three wounds per phase as well, so he's got that fancy
Night Haunter shit.
Yeah, dude, but think about this. That's pretty scary. Every one of your units has -1 to wound. That's pretty nutty. Like backfield objective holders and stuff like that.
So is Abaddon only being able to take 3 wounds per fucking phase?
I mean, that's pretty commonplace now for HQs.
Yeah.
My Phoenix Lords have that rule.
So Khorne is +1 strength on the charge. Nurgle's -1 to wound. Tzeentch is ignore the first damage on a first failed save. Slaanesh is fight first, and they cost points. And if you're using a unique chaos unit like Khorne Berserkers, they can only take the Khorne mark. Noise Marines can only take the Slaanesh mark, and so on and so forth. The new icons obviously cost points. Icon of Vengeance is +1 to combat attrition. Wrath is +1 AP in melee. Flame is +1 AP in shooting. Excess is +1 to hit in melee. And Despair is 6 to hit auto wound. but they can only be put on legionaries, chosen, possessed, bikers, and terminators.
Terminators, you see.
Yeah. So my terminators are getting +1 to hit in melee.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I'm gonna have to put fucking wrath on them, aren't they? Because I'm playing Khorne, so +1 AP in melee. Oh boy.
Well, it depends, because if they're not in the fucking codex,
Yeah, that's
and
true.
you're playing them as word bearers, then you're a bit more flexible.
Yeah, definitely. Looks like I'll be playing red word bearers, boys.
They're already red, so.
I'm curious. Has Horan Blackheart taken a points
I
increase?
don't know.
Or
He's not. He's not in
is he
the
not?
stuff.
Oh, sad. Yes.
Oh, I can tell you what units have been removed.
Oh,
Plague
come on, then.
Marines, Rubik Marines, and Khorne Berserkers are no longer in the core codex. They are only present in their individual codexes, which lends more credence to World Eaters getting their own codex.
Yep.
Noise Marines are obviously still in there. However, Plague Marines, Rubik Marines, and Khorne Berserkers can be fielded the same way Harlequins can. As
Oh, so you can have
players.
a mini
Sub-
detachment of Zinj, Khorne, or
Yes.
but they're not part of the codex. What the
No.
fuck?
Greater Possessed no longer
Maybe.
exist. Rip
What
me.
no longer exists?
Wait, greater possessed.
Yep.
But
Really?
You know there's
Am
two
I-
guys in the Start Collecting set?
yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
just about to say. What the fuck?
Yeah, they're not in the codex. So I assume they're going to be just folded into the standard Possessed squad as like a lieutenant or whatever. Mutilators are no longer in the codex. Me and Dan were talking about mutilators the other day. They're not there.
Good night, sweet prince.
Fallen. So if you're a stupid cunt that insists on playing Cypher and a bunch of Fallen Marines, you can't anymore. They're gone. No
Wow.
one cares except that one guy.
That's what you get for being a stupid cunt. That was a bit harsh, but I like it.
Oh yeah, characters with jump packs are gone. So no more wacky fucking.
No more chaos smash cap.
Yeah, well, you
What-
couldn't
so
buy
what-
models anyway. There were no models in
You- what-
existence with jump packs.
No.
So
There was. There was the Gid fucking sorcerer guy, didn't he have one?
I don't know, mate.
He was a special
What,
character.
what-
He was the one that came out with Warzone fucking
No,
Vigilus.
he didn't have.
He didn't have a jump pack.
You know, he was just standing on a big fucking
Yeah, you're
base
talking
for
about the
skulls,
Master of
wasn't he?
Possession, aren't you? I got one over here. It's not a jump pack.
Okay, I'll shut up.
Yeah, no.
Just a fancy backpack.
Yeah. New units, Cultist HQ squad, similar to the Imperial Guard command squad. So it's just like a little squad of 5 models, similar to, you know, in the original Dawn of War game, where you got like the Lord Commander, a little Psyker, a little Priest, and a whatever.
Yeah.
It's that, but with cultists. So there's like one little Psyker, one little prayer person, and one little banner. No one fucking uses these squads in Imperial Guard, so I don't think they're going to get used with cultists. Cultist Mutants, they are Strength 5, Toughness 4, and AP -2 in melee.
That's spicy.
And then there's a smaller Cultist Mutants that are Strength 4, Toughness 4, and AP 1 in melee. Possessed are getting fucking injected with Tremboloni. Their Strength 5, Toughness 5, 3-up save, 5 attacks base, AP -2, damage 2.
Nice.
Yeah.
Gotta eat your tremboloni sandwiches, boys.
Yeah, 5 attacks at
Make
5
you big and
-2,
strong.
that's pretty fucking good.
Oh, hang on. So the
2 damage is the new 1
Yeah,
damage. Come on.
the greater possessed are no longer a thing,
Yep.
and the possessed are getting like they've had their fucking steak and side order of steak.
Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised if they just get rid of the whole possessed box and then you end up with fucking
Greater Possessed as their replacement.
greater possessed is the replacement, and
Yeah.
yeah,
See,
that's
I
what
don't
that
think
sounds
they-
like to me.
Yeah, maybe. I guess they haven't made new possessed, have they?
No.
They're still the old shitty ones that look a bit silly.
Janky. That's why I'm saying this.
I thought they made some new ones.
No. No, the only new ones that they made were the
Oh, it was the greater ones. Yeah, no,
from
you're
the
right.
Yeah,
greater
when you
possessed.
start collecting.
Oh yeah, oh my god, the old ones are fucking goofy.
Yeah, they do look stupid as hell. The guy with the round bug head is my favorite. How's it going, Jimmy?
Hey guys, let's do some chaos. Oh,
yeah, they
yeah.
didn't age well. Yeah, that's it for chaos. The only other thing.
Why is they getting rid of fucking mutilators though? Because
Me
that is a
and Dan
fairly
were
new
talking
kit.
about mutilators. Have you? No, there is no kit for them.
They're just basically the melee version of obliterators. That's all they are.
The
You can
kit-
still get them.
The kit is old as fuck, and it's made
It's
to
the
order,
old.
and they look ugly as shit. And they're just, I don't know, they're bad. Look at their rules.
Yeah, believe it or not, it
Bad.
uses the same base kit as the old obliterators. Yes, the old obliterators were that fucking ugly.
Yeah.
£36 for 3 ugly ass metal models. Let's go.
Mm.
Oh no, they're resin now. Get fucked. Well, I'm not.
Oh, that's even worse. What the hell?
Fuck off, Games Workshop.
They're really fucking. Oh man, it's a shocking amount of like super old ass nasty models.
Yeah, you tell me about it, dude. I've been filing with this Baharoth for hours. He's still metal, dude. Metal fucking models.
Yeah.
In the year 2022.
The only thing left to discuss, unless you've got further thoughts, is tournament results.
Here we go. This one, Nathan gets up on his soapbox and complains about Harlequins. Go on.
Oh, hang on. My favorite ever model Games Workshop ever produced is going on sale soon.
Yeah, I noticed that the other day. It made me think of you. The fucking terrain piece of shit. I looked at it. I saw it was on pre-order. I was like, fucking James. He's not even going to buy it.
How much is the big box
I don't
set?
fucking know. I don't give a shit about it. You want to buy it and pay for the channel? I ain't even going to use it.
Oh,
Just to spite you.
hell.
No, in
Gosh,
seriousness,
man.
I might actually buy it for some variety of terrain, because I keep using the same terrain in all the battle reports, and I'm conscious that it gets a little bit samey. Yeah, so tournament results. Harlequins at 77.9%, excluding mirror matches. Eldari at 65.1. Craft Worlds at 61.7. Tower down to 58. And Custodies down to 57. So Custodies and Tower now officially balanced.
I think it's still too early in the meta to make judgments. Keep in mind, like with a lot of like the big tournaments, people have to submit their like lists in advance and can't really change afterwards. So a lot of these people that have already set their lists and factions in stone, probably before the new Eldar or Tyranid stuff even came out. So I think it's a bit early to make snap judgments. I expect the numbers to balance out a bit more. Again, I'm not saying that Harlequins are bad. They are very strong, but I think once the meta settles, we'll start adjusting to Harlequins. You might see other factions jump up. For example, Thousand Suns absolutely crush Harlequins. Like, it's a super hard counter. So all of a sudden, if Harlequins are so strong, you might see a lot of Thousand Suns,
Grey Knights
crop up. Grey Knights again, very strongly against them. So.
Andy was telling me that the Tyranid Codex is quite frankly frightening.
Absolutely.
One of the guys in their little tournament group said he did 70 mortal wounds in his first turn with the new Nid Codex.
Yeah, no, the new Tyranid Codex is fucking scary. I'm definitely more afraid of Tyranids than Eldar and Harlequins, because Crusher Stampede is still a thing.
Yeah.
So
The good news is Crusher Stampede GSC AdMech sitting at 50% win rate precisely. So pre Codex, Crusher Stampede GSC and AdMech perfectly balanced apparently.
Perfect.
I think GSC's low win rate is just because the army's so fucking hard to play.
And I think you have to keep in mind, right? Like the potential of an army is not always reflected in tournament scores.
Yeah.
Like GSC are very good, but they're very to play popular faction. So why would you if you go into a tournament to win, you're not gonna pick the army that's fucking hard to play to get a good result, are you?
Yeah.
You're gonna go for the more easier to play. But I still think the new GSC Codex is an absolute fluff and flavor win. I love their rules.
Yeah, I like the Codex. Guess who's the bottom worst performers?
Imperial God.
Well, yes, that was a given, but can you guess who the other one is?
Good
Death
Angels.
God.
It might concern you. I don't think... Okay, think about it not being an obvious choice.
Is it like something wacky, like Space Marines?
It's Sisters of Battle.
Wow.
I think
They have a
people
28% win rate.
I think people just probably moved away from it in favor of other armies. I don't think they're that bad, honestly.
Yeah.
Like they're a very strong army.
Space Marines are down to pathetic.
At this point, everyone does what Space Marines do better.
Yeah, pretty much. It's funny. I was talking to Andy about this today. I was like, sometimes when I play against armies that aren't Tau, Harlequins, Eldar, and Drakari, I'm like, wow, this is really fucking easy.
When you're playing Custodes, yeah.
Because, like, when you play against Tau, they've got their +1 AP in short range. They've got 10d6 line of sight ignoring shots. When you're playing Drakari, they've just you can't hit them for shit. You don't really wound them, and they got feel no pain on everything. And then you play against Space Marines, and everything's AP 1, and they just don't do anything. And it's quite galling to the difference, just the sheer quality difference. Like, obviously, Harlequins have got their 4-up inborn, -1 to hit, -1 to wound in a small aura. Nids have got their...
Fine, the -1 to wound only affects the fucking bikes.
Yeah. And that sort of stuff. And then you play against, like, Imperial Guard or Death Guard, and you're like, what do you
Imperial Guard.
what do you do? What
you hit on purpose? 5 ups.
Yeah. It's the discrepancy now is insane. Even for armies with a 9th edition codex, like the Sisters and the Necrons, Death Guard. It's
Death Guard, I think they were fine. They just nerfed them for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
That was bizarre. It was just out of nowhere.
They weren't even doing well.
Sisters, I think they're still good. I think the only codexes from the new codexes that are falling behind at the moment are Space Marines.
Yeah.
I think Necrons are not in that bad of a spot.
They're kind of locked to a single play style.
Yeah. Which is usually what happens just before something drops off the edge of a cliff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they got options. They got a lot more options now than they did.
I was going to say, I think they are much more enjoyable to play now than they were before. Now that, like, Scorpex have got core and a lot of other things have got core, and they're actually doing okay. They're sort of in the 50% win rate. They're sort of vaguely balanced. I think
that's fucking great, dude. What are you on about?
I think the issue is that there's sort of 4 or 5 codexes, well, not codexes, 4 or 5 armies that are so far ahead of the rest that it's making the issue seem worse than it is.
Yeah, I think there's some armies that need a nerf, for sure. So, Tau, for sure. Harlequins, yes, potentially. Eldar, potentially. Custodes, a little bit.
Yeah, I think
When-
Emperor's Chosen needs to get pounded a bit.
When are we due our next
It's
quarterly?
May.
Right.
So we're another month and a half away from another balancing, whatever they call it, balanced data slate. And let's be perfectly clear here. They balance based on like 3-month-old data.
Yeah.
So whatever the meta was last month, that's probably how they're going to balance it. So what was the meta last month? Tau and Custodes, wasn't it? Tau and Custodes with a little bit of Crusher Stampede and a little bit of Thick City.
Thick City's not. It's. I don't even think people play Thick City that much now, or it's definitely not in the way that they used to play it.
So yeah, I expect Tau and Custodes to get pounded. Probably Custodes more so. I expect Custodes to take more of a beating than Tau, because so many people played Custodes and it made them a lot worse because there was such a large amount of them in the field. Whereas now, because everyone's sort of shifting over to Tau and the Eldari Codex, Custodes are much less of an issue. They're still painful, don't get me wrong. They're absolutely brutal. But in comparison to the other top armies, they're sort of not quite as bad. But like I said, they do their balancing based on old data, so I think Custodes are going to get some well-deserved nerfs. Trajan's going to go up in cost stratospherically, as he should. Bikes
I can see him go up by like 10-20 points.
Yeah. Other than that, it's anyone's guess. I think they might nerf Death Guard a little bit. I think Blight Lord Terminators. I think Blight Lord Terminators are getting a bit big for their boots, personally speaking.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think they need to change the strength of the bolters to strength 3.
I've noticed
AP +1.
Yeah,
they literally give the opponent an extra save point.
I think a lot of Astra Militarum players have suddenly been playing Basilisks, and I think that needs to change. So I think we should put an extra 25 points on the cost of a Basilisk.
Oh, yeah. Be nerf Space Marines as well.
Yeah. Also, I saw this guy save like an entire melee round against Custodes with some Bulgrin once. So I think those Bulgrins
Can't have that.
That's bang out.
Remove them. Just remove them from the codex.
Yeah. Limit them to 1 squad of 3.
Yeah, it's too much.
What else needs to be done? You know what? There's too many War Dogs in night lists. They should be limited to 1 squad of 3, so they can't actually field a legal list without bringing nothing but big knights.
Just change the. What? You're only allowed to play 500 points. Nothing but combat patrols. That's it.
Yeah. And if you field one of the larger chassis knights, your opponent gets obsec within 6 inches.
Yeah, no, they just remove knights from the game. They're just no longer a thing. That's it. Sorry, get squatted. It's squatted.
Can't think of anything else. Oh, and we're removing core from 7 Necron data sheets.
No, they'll just keep adding core. Like every time they just add core to more.
Just
things.
more core. Katana now core. The monolith. Monolith is now core. You can now resurrect the monolith on a 4-up. Treat it as a character.
They just add a new model called core, and it's just a big circle, a big Necron sphere. It's the core.
Yeah.
It gives core to everything around
within
it.
12 inches. And it also benefits from relentlessly expansionist, so it can pre-game move 6 inches.
Yeah, of course. It itself is core.
Yeah. I think we solved the meta, guys.
No problem. No
I think we should take away core from more Harlequins models.
Yes.
We should take away OBSEC from their troops, because they don't have core. So why should they have OBSEC, you know?
I mean, it makes sense to me, dude. And then at the same time, keep making all of their things require the core keyword to work.
There'll be auras that don't actually affect anything in the army.
That's what it basically is right now.
What a time to be alive. We jest, but this is what life is going to be like, so get used to it. Suck it up, bitch. That's it. Anything else to add, boys?
My wife left me.
Man, you've been
Oh.
divorced at least 8 times now.
No,
Hey, man.
It's getting
he's
expensive.
like Henry VIII. He's had 8 different wives.
Yeah. Except each one
It
of
is
them
what it
cuts his
is.
head off, but not the head you think. That's why he's called Little Willie.
It's true.
An inch taken off each
Scientifically
time.
No inches left, man.
Anyway, I think we'll leave it there on that note of cutting penis heads off. Thank you for tuning into us. We'll be playing what are we playing next week? GSC versus Eldar.
Eldar.
That was it. Have fun, James. You're gonna get trashed. And we'll be doing our usual podcast next week on Sunday at 7 p.m. too. So yeah, catch us on Wednesday at 7, Sunday at 7. Other than that, good night, God bless, fuck Death Guard.